What's up again out there, everybody? This is the Olosopher, ready to give you some more Olosophy. I was looking on the Facebook post earlier, yesterday, and I wanted to get to this, but I really didn't have enough time, but now I do. Now the class is over with, and I'm about to go home for the day. But Michael Eric Dyson, I don't know if a lot of y'all know him. He's a political pundit. I mean, this dude is like a sharp cat, man. Like, as good as it gets. I mean, that dude spits that real. Okay, and he put it in the words. The boy, that man, hey, his wordplay is like literally like judo Floyd Mayweather. Well, maybe not Mayweather, given his latest content on Colin Kaepernick, but pretty much like Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? In his truest form. But anyway, Michael Eric Dyson had a question on why do poor whites vote Republican? Well, I think I might have broke that down a couple times, but it's a plethora of reasons why poor whites vote Republican. Now, some of it has to do with racism. Some of it has to do with lack of an education. And then some of it has to do, another category or another group of it is like, that's just their views of the country, you know? And then you got another group that's, like I said, that's misinformed. But let me break them all down. Let's start off with the misinformed. Some of them really don't know. Some of them really just don't know. Some of them just don't think like the Democrats speak to them. You know, they just don't think Democrats speak to them. They don't know how to identify with, some of them people don't know how to identify with people that don't look like them. They wouldn't know where to begin because they grew up a certain way. They have certain values, and that's just what it is. But then you have another group, you know, and I call this group, you know, the racist group, you know, the ones that be like, you know, they cut their nose off to spite their face. I mean, you fill in the blanks on this one. I may be poor, I may be white, I may be uneducated, but at least I ain't no, you know what it is. At least they ain't the N-word. If it's like being black to them is a disease, or being African, being a minority to them is some kind of plague that just happened to the human race. Like they would rather be poor, uneducated, and without anything, just as long as they not one of us. That's another group you have. And then you pretty much have another group of them that it's like I said, they honestly believe in their head that, and what they've been told by that political party, like, listen, we rich and we look like you. We the same color as you. You more identify with us, the rich white, than you do with the poor black. See, you may be poor and white, but we rich and white. You more identify with us because I look like you. In all reality, their mindset is like, no, I don't want to associate myself with you. But in my mindset is to trick you into believing that you identify with me when you actually identify with them, the poor minorities. See, that's how they fool and trick them. See, they believe like, okay, as long as I have my whiteness, I can get to the top of the food chain. They actually believe that, where in all reality, that's not the case. You know, they don't like you because of you. It's like that term came up with redneck. The reason why rednecks came up is because those were in slavery, those was the poor indentured white servants. And the slave master didn't even like the redneck because he was poor, he was uneducated. He didn't associate himself with the redneck. That's why he called him redneck, because he stayed too long out in the sun and, you know, he had them sunburns because you've been working out on the plantation too, because you was a poor indentured servant. You was in debt to that slave master. Okay, so he didn't like you. Okay, you was in a whole nother class. But then you got those, like I said, that's just flat out who they are. They are conservative. They're right-wing Republicans. I don't think that group, a certain group of them, they are not racist. That's just their politics. But like I said, at the end of the day, that group has hijacked your party. That group that said, I may be poor, I may be uneducated, I may be disenfranchised, but I'm not no N-word. Okay? It's a vast majority of them that's hijacked the party, the Republican Party. And they would rather cut their nose off to spite their face. They would rather get ripped off by a rich white man to get saved by a rich black man or a rich minority. If it was a sinking ship They would rather sinking with that ship with the captain being white than being saved on a boat by a captain that was driving that ship and that captain was of color. That's just how they are. I mean, they so blinded by their hatred. They would rather sink and die with a white captain than to be saved by a black captain or a captain of color. Again, this is the old philosopher. Hopefully I answered that Michael Eric Dyson question for y'all, giving you the more old philosophy, talking from the third eye. Cyclops, holla at me.